Hello and welcome to the Candid Cashflow podcast, episode 45. I'm your host, Ava Fales. Greetings, Cash Flowers. Hope you're great. Quarter four is a term that is probably familiar to you if you're into sports or if you've ever worked in retail. In retail, it refers to the last 3 months of each year, beginning with October 1st. If it's not obvious yet to you why Q4 is so hot, it's because it's during this time that consumers spend the most money shopping for the Christmas season. It's the end. It's time for your best plays of the game. The mad dash for quarter four has begun, and I'm taking advantage of it in a few small ways. Are you? If you want to know more about going hard in Q4 and a few methods to make almost guaranteed money, then stay tuned.
Are you struggling with that person on your gift list who has everything? Have you thought of giving a year of Amazon Prime? It's the gift that keeps giving throughout the whole year, with free 2-day shipping, instant streaming of thousands of movies and shows, and access to millions of songs, commercial free. Get that special someone Prime for a year. Details are at heyoava.com/giveprime.
I had a completely different show scheduled for this week, but I've bumped that topic down to cover quarter four instead. I want to discuss why Q4 is so important and how you can cash in. Even if it's a bit too late this year, why not start gearing up now for Q4 2019? The more you plan and prepare, the more epic it will be. I have several friends who have been anticipating Q4 since last year. E-commerce sales were in the hundreds of billions of dollars in 2017. That is enough pie that anyone who wants a slice can have a decent chunk. According to the National Retail Federation, holiday sales can be up to 30% of retail sales for the entire year. Quarter four is the bread and butter for retail. Needless to say, anyone selling anything online has been anticipating this time of year probably since December 31st of last year. Words like fruitful and abundant come to mind. During Q4 of 2017, Amazon made $60.5 billion, which beat analyst predictions by a cool $1 billion. I personally know people who did very well with Amazon during last Q4, and I've seen the numbers with my own eyes. How did they do it? Books and t-shirts. How much? $20,000 in a month. If you don't already have some significant infrastructure in place, it's too late to see that kind of scratch this year, but you can still grab a piece of the pie. For months, I've had it on my to-do list to revamp my books so they are fresh and ready for quarter four, and I've failed miserably at getting that done. Working online isn't all rainbows and butterflies. It really is a hustle and a grind. It's so much better, though, than hustling and grinding for someone else's dream. There's still time, but it's ticking away rapidly. If you haven't already begun your mad dash, you can still get in and start right now. I want to mention here that the Candid Cashflow podcast covered 5 Amazon side hustles anyone can start in episode 12. The fastest way to jump into a retail side hustle is probably there. Okay, so the last couple weeks I have shared 2 of the most profound lessons I've learned about working online. 1, it takes multiple streams of income to succeed, and 2, you have to spend money to make money. This week's lesson has to do mostly with selling online, and it goes hand in hand with multiple streams of income. Here it is. Doing well in online retail is a numbers game. What I mean by that is you can't just upload one book and create one t-shirt and expect to get your piece of the pie. Anyone that has managed to make 5 or 6 figures with one product is the exception, not the rule. If you're new around here, I want to caution you not to latch onto some guru trying to sell you his course on how he did just that, because it's going to waste your time and your money. If you're not ready to put in hours of mundane, keyboard tapping, mouse clicking, knuckle grinding work, then get out of here right now. Turn this off and walk away, because that's what it takes. Still here? Great. Your reward is further insight into how one of my clients grows 20 grand with books and t-shirts in Q4 of 2017. This confirms this week's lesson. How do you make $20,000 with books and t-shirts? You create hundreds and thousands of products. If you're going to succeed there, you better be ready to put in the work, and that's what success is all about. There's a quote from Les Brown that says, "To be successful, you must be willing to do the things today that others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow that others won't have." So is there still time to cash in on Q4? The short answer is absolutely. The long answer is absolutely, if you're willing to put in the time, money, and the work. Q4 is a bit of a work in progress for me. I have and am going all in on a couple areas, hoping to reap some Q4 benefits. One area is Merch by Amazon. For those of you who don't know, Merch by Amazon is the print-on-demand arm of Amazon. Designers like me and maybe you can upload designs for printing on t-shirts, long-sleeve t-shirts, sweatshirts, and hoodies. They are still in the process of rolling out their latest product, which is pop sockets, and I'll talk about that more in just a moment. Let me drop off a couple of bombs right here. Plain words sell very well. What I mean is plain words on a solid background, and that's your design, just a saying or a quote. 2, keep it simple when you do your listing. The title is the main traffic grabber, so much so that I don't even bother with like a description and bullet points when I do my Merch by Amazon. If you can come up with catchy sayings, you can slap those on a shirt in no time and get in on the numbers game. There's one caveat here. If you don't already have a Merch by Amazon account, you must apply for one. I'm not sure how long approval times are currently running, but it can take months or just a few days. That's okay. Go ahead and apply if this is something you're interested in. You can still make shirts and sell them online via other avenues. In episode 16 of the Candid Cashflow podcast, we discussed this extensively, and you can find out the best places to sell from the information that I provided. There will be a link in the show notes to that episode's notes, so get all the links and goodies. Grab those at heyoava.com/episode 45. So I went all in on pop sockets this Q4, which are another product available to design through Merch by Amazon. If you don't know what these are, they're a nifty grip and stand for smartphones and tablets, and I'm hoping they sell like crazy in Q4 since they make perfect stocking stuffers. I've sold about 5 in the last month or so, and that's far from earth-shattering, but when you consider the odds that are majorly stacked against people designing pop sockets, that's pretty great actually. For example, pop sockets are not a new product. I imagine that company has sold them in the millions already. They also have some rules for merch creators that keep their own designs on the top of the search results, So as a creator, you really have to niche down and find a unique approach to find a relevancy. Once you do find that relevancy, though, the sales start rolling in, and the royalties are great for not having to maintain a website, not having to get website traffic, no customer service, no nothing, just throw up a design and make a few bucks. It's all about using your noggin to figure out your best course of action. If ever there were room for mistakes to still be lucrative, it's going to be during quarter 4. So where should you focus for a Q4 return? You should focus on products. Whatever your strategy is, you have to have products to sell if you want to see a Q4 return. After that, you want to focus on getting eyeballs on your products. It's all going to depend on your business model, your niche, etc. Keep it simple and grind it out. Everyone I know creating products, shirts, etc. is in upload like a maniac mode right now, and probably throughout Q4. I will include a couple of methods for you if you're just starting out to get involved and make a little cheddar for yourself in the show notes. So don't forget to grab those at heyoava.com/episode 45. So who should you follow for Q4 success? Well, I'm happy you're following the Candid Cashflow podcast. I definitely have some great suggestions for you from my own network. That being said, I want to take a second and talk about networking. I discussed this in depth in episode 26 of the Candid Cashflow podcast, so be sure to check that out. There will be a link in the show notes. Networking has tripled my business in the last year and a half. I've found that great people attract other great people, and before you know it, you have a wonderful crowd all helping each other. So reach out. You won't be sorry. If you enjoy a particular YouTube content creator, don't be afraid to reach out and let them know. If you enjoy content from a specific blog or whatever, interact. You never know when a few words can turn into a lucrative relationship. No man is an island, and you don't have to go about your internet endeavors all on your own. In fact, it's a lot more fun with friends. I'm going to put out a few people for you. Some of these may be repeats from past episodes, but these are solid people putting out explosive content that can help you make money if you pay attention. So first up, we have Keith Wheeler of Keith Wheeler Books. He's into self-publishing, kids books, and no-content books. Next up, Kelly Publish. She's into merch by Amazon, no-content books, and does a few stickers on Redbubble, a couple of courses, and that kind of thing, so be sure to check out Kelly. Merch Money is all merch by Amazon. It's 4 or 5 women, and they usually have guests on their show. They do the show called Merch Money, and they're all doing merch by Amazon, so you get 4 or 5 perspectives for the price of one. Next up, I have Christy Childs. She does Etsy, Printful, Gear Bubble, print on demand business. Dale Roberts with Self-Publishing with Dale. He does, of course, self-publishing, no-content books, aggregate publishing, all kinds of reviews, and so much more. He's the #1 authority on self-publishing, so don't miss out on Dale. Next up, the Mickelson twins. If you haven't met these two, you're missing out. They drop a lot more information than most people out there. Their niche is audiobooks. They also do merch and some other things. A little bit of warning out there on language. If you're a snowflake about profanity, then their channel's not going to be for you. So be sure and check out these 6 suggestions. Huge value here. Tons of free content. That's another episode of the Candid Cashflow podcast on the books. If you enjoyed it, I hope that you will consider subscribing. in your favorite listening app at heyoava.com/candidcashflow. I really appreciate everyone who downloads and listens to the show. I haven't mentioned lately how things are going, but I'm still experiencing slow but consistent growth. Over the last 3 months, we have met and exceeded the previous record for downloads for each month. I'm super excited about that, and it's all because of you, so thanks so much. Don't forget to grab a copy of the show notes so you get all the links and bonuses at heyoava.com/episode 45. I've also compiled all of the show notes into ebooks 10 at a time, and I'll include the links to those once again in the show notes. They are chock full of information about turning your passion into cash flow. If you'd like to be a guest or suggest someone as a guest for the Candid Cashflow podcast, shoot me an email at heyoava.com/contact-ava. Remember, I release a new episode each Wednesday. Until next time, turning your passion into cash flow.